Hello everyone, this is Super Comic Girl. I am back with another video. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you wish to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I do videos multiple times a week. And I'm saying this because I end up doing videos multiple times a week instead of the typical like once a week or 3 times or 4 times a week. I find myself doing them multiple times a week and all that jazz. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a video review or movie review of the movie Morbius, which is the first time that the living vampire has come to the MCU. So one of the things about the movie is either you love it or you hate it, just like in the other type of movie, but because we're talking about Morbius, the living vampire, it's more of a I really hate this movie or I really love this movie because they were faithful to the comics, all that jazz. So I actually rented the movie from Redbox. I tried to buy the movie from Walmart, but unlike Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, which would have told you, yes, you know, they would have had it listed on the back, like on the wall, this is when the movies are coming out. They did not know. They had a freaking display for it, and they did not know when the movie would come out. So, the movie is about Michael Morbius, who is a doctor. He has a very rare blood condition, and he explains to his friend Milo, who has the same condition, that there is something missing from their DNA, and that's why they need blood transfusions 3 times a day. Blood plays a huge key factor in the entire movie. Either blood, it's like the blood is what we need all the time. So before I begin, I want to say there's going to be spoilers in this video. If you have not watched the movie Morbius and you do not want to be spoiled in the video here, I won't be upset. The algorithms might be a little upset, but I won't be upset. But if you have watched the movie Morbius or you don't care, then let's go forward. So Michael Morbius meets Milo in this hospital that is for children with these medical conditions. Not just that, but children of rich people that have medical conditions. This is a hospital, as far as I can tell, is for wealthy children. So even though they've got all this money, they are still considered freaks by other rich kids at this boarding school and everything. So it takes place, so Michael meets Milo in Greece, and they become fast friends, and he saves Milo's life. I am going to say something about the opening scene of this movie. I can't pronounce it, okay, but it's in Costa Rica, and it's a bat cave that they go to. And there's evidence of, like, the vampire bats were feeding. I mean, there's, like, dead animals everywhere. They lifted these animals off the forest floor and consumed them. That was, whoa, it was like, okay. Whoa. And so he sets us up, and I thought from the trailer that this is how Morbius ended up becoming the living vampire, was that, you know, he had cut himself with a machete intentionally, and the vampire bats fed on him, and that stuff that was coming out was like whatever he was working on. No, it wasn't. It was, oh man. So literally, it's like he slices his hand, and one vampire bat smells it and apparently notifies all of his friends, "Hey, food!" and zoom, goes forward. Literally scares the freaking shit out of the people there. The jungle was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I mean, it just really tells you there are a lot of untouched parts of the world that are still beautiful. It's so beautiful. The waterfall coming down was breathtaking. Loved it. I don't want to go to Costa Rica. I will settle for pictures and video of Costa Rica, but it was beautiful. I loved it. It was so serene and just so, looks like it was so quiet and peaceful. So loved the aerial shots of that one part of Costa Rica. So he discovers that that by mixing human and animal DNA, and this is interesting, is there are diseases out there that can jump over to humans. And I'm not going into anything political here, because I know a lot of people have their political views about COVID. But if you look at AIDS, for instance, that's a prime example of a disease going from animal to human. It was able to stabilize in our bloodstream once it got into it and everything. So basically he does a process where he enables the vampire bat DNA to be stabilized with human DNA. And without even considering what might happen when you inject yourself with vampire bat DNA, he injects himself with it. His girlfriend, his fiance, injects him in the back. There is, I need to say this, I'm redoing this video mainly because I did mention the Costa Rica one, part of it, and second for this. I don't know if it was computer graphics that did it, or he or Jared Leto starved himself for this shot. He literally looked like he hadn't eaten in a month. He had bony arms. You could see his bones. He looked so sick in this movie. And for people that do not know, Morbus stars Jared Leto, who played the Joker in Suicide Squad. But it was so like freaky to see that. He looks so sick. So please, I hope it's computer generated effects, because I was kind of like, whoa, I don't know if you starved yourself, buddy boy, but you need about 800 pounds of meat, or 800 pounds of food in you. Oh my God. Reminds me of that couple that came into the store 2 weeks ago that's on that keto diet, and they must be taking it to the extreme because they look like walking skeletons. That, how Jared Leto looked reminded me too much of that. So he gets to inject himself with the serum, and he goes into cardiac arrest, and then he's better. And basically what ends up happening is he ends up slaughtering all of the crew members in the cargo container ship, because what him and his girlfriend or his fiance are doing could make them lose their medical license. So Michaels has Milo hire a boat or ship that goes into international waters, because if you are in international waters, you are subject to international law, not subject to whatever law from whatever country you're from. Speaking of Milo, and I did not mention this earlier, Milo is very prone to anger outbursts. If he doesn't get what he wants, he lashes out in anger. For a prime example of him showing his very violent side was when Michael left him a note, and the note blew out the window and was caught by the popular kids, these rich kids, and he tries to at first get the note back nicely. They taunt him, throw the note around, and he literally just snaps, and he swings his crutch against this one boy. This one boy has no idea how much getting hit with a wooden crutch hurts. But he goes and he shows, not only to his doctor, that he has a violent side to himself. I would have just let the note go, but he had to get it back, and he was made fun of and all that. And the kids were not expecting a very sick little boy to do that much damage. So that is Milo. Milo is very prone to having anger. So he slaughters everybody in the container boat, and he sends an SOS, and so he actually leaps off the boat, which he does in the comic. And even in the comic, that is where Michael becomes the living vampire Morbus. One of the things that he discovers is that he has these long claws, which can actually go through brick wall. He has a mouth full of sharp teeth. He has that, the nose. So they did a really great job on the CGI on that one. I really like how they did with the colors. Like he was purple. It was really awesome. I really liked that. Thought that was awesome. So he gets back to the laboratory, and he doesn't realize it, but he makes one of the biggest mistakes he could possibly make. He puts the 2 vials of the serum within visual or physical grabbing of anyone who would think that it was great to look like him. And so Milo comes around, and Milo basically gets upset because Michael will not share this cure, even though he sees what it's done to his friend. He is desperate to get well. He doesn't care the consequences of what might happen. He injects it, and he becomes even more of a monster than Michael could ever dream of being. While Michael is trying to figure out a way to undo it so that he can go back to normal, Milo considers being a vampire to be this greatest thing in the world. He loves the idea of feeding on people. He loves the idea of causing more pain and more death. He doesn't care. He is a true monster. I like the fighting scenes that goes on. I love they mentioned that Michael graduated from medical school at 19. This had a factor of 2 reasons. One, Michael's family Michael showed that he had a genius level, and so it was the government that paid for his admittance into this prestigious school that had an even more up-to-date medical facility, so that enabled him to survive as long as he did. I don't know why you would shun the Nobel Peace Prize. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for his creation of artificial blood. He turned it down. He snubbed the king and queen, I forgot what country, but you don't do that. Be happy with your achievements in life. But yeah, and the detective actually told him that your plasma saved him over there in, I believe it was Afghanistan. Um, so yeah, so a little bit, a little bit of a, a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a little bit of it, but really a indication that there are people out there that do remember what he did. So he inadvertently reveals what he is. There was a nurse that got her body drained of all her blood, and Michael thinks it's him. It turns out it is not. We later on find out it's Milo. Did not care that she was a mother. Michael would have. That's why Michael drank from the blood bank or from the blood donations and not from people. Because he cared about, about the family and all that type of stuff. Milo did not care. It wasn't that he was rich. It was that he had this disease that made him value life less and less. He did not care as long as it benefited him. He didn't care. It's not a rich person's attitude. It's a sick person's attitude that, I have suffered so long with this disease, and now I'm better, and now this is what I'm going to do with the second chance I've been given. I am going to destroy people's lives. And also, as I said, it's not because he's rich. It's because he just doesn't care about people anymore. And it's all because of the disease. I never got the impression that he thought he was better than other people because he was wealthy. It was that this is how much that Milo no longer cared about life. He cared about his own life, but he didn't care about other people's lives because they didn't have to go through what he went through. They had it made, and it applies to poor people as well. They had it made. They didn't have to worry about, getting this disease, and so why should I care about you? So when Michael finally figures out that it's Milo, it's already too late. He goes and he attacks Michael's fiance, injures her, and Michael knows that he cannot drink the plasma anymore. He has to drink actual human blood, and before he does it, she bites him with her teeth, and she gets some of his infected blood into her, and then he bites her just to get the nourishment that he needed, not realizing that she was going to turn into a vampire. And sure enough, that is what she did. At the very end of it, her eyes get real red and everything, and she's better. She's totally healed. But in the comic books, that's exactly how it happens, and she ends up dying because, Michael's trying to keep Spider-Man from getting killed and all that. So it shows that, like, if you drink some of his blood and he drinks your blood, you will become a vampire. I believe they say she became a true vampire in the comics. But yeah. So overall, this movie was really great. I did like the battle between Michael and Milo. Michael is absolutely horrified at how fast Milo is, and he's able to kill like 7 officers in one go, which is insane. I like the horror aspect they put into it, because we are talking about a living vampire here. It was so, I love the movie. It was so good. I actually, if you must know, I ended up renting it from Amazon, but I'm going to go and get it, own it and everything. But it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it immensely. It wasn't as terrifying as some of the horror movies I have watched. It wasn't bad at all. I thought Jared Leto did a great job as Michael Morbius. I can't pronounce her name, but she did a great job as performing as his fiance. You could tell that, I don't know if I'm the only one who could tell there was some chemistry between the two, but overall I just enjoyed the movie, and it was, oh man, it was awesome. I am a huge fan of the Morbius comics, and that was one of the huge reasons that I rented this movie. I wanted to see Morbius on screen, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So that is my review of the movie Morbius with Jared Leto and a couple other actors. I do not remember their names, but they are awesome. But yeah. So I am going to let you guys go. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And Saturday, I already have it up, but it's on like time, what do you want to call it? And this is going to be my review of what if Miles Morales became Captain America. I will actually say up until getting that comic, I never read any of the what ifs. So that will be available on Saturday, and I'll see you guys around. So until next time, nerds, read on. Bye.